na, 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 na. How do you protect your confidence as an entrepreneur? There's nothing that feels better than overflowing with confidence, feeling like you can take over the world. I mean, the biggest challenge for me is always meeting entrepreneurs that just got deflated, or they feel like the challenge is insurmountable, or they're in this entrepreneurial pendulum where they're swinging from exclamation mark of, I'm gonna take over the world, to question mark of, what am I doing with my life and my business? That is a real challenge that sometimes you might swing both ways a couple times per week, sometimes a couple times per day. When we were working on my company Flowtown, my co-founder Ethan and I, we had the opportunity, we were super blessed to have the CEO and founder of Constant Contact come to our office to meet with us. And her name was Gail, and she, at the time she was running a publicly traded company. And it was just such a great experience to see, this is how it could look at the end of the day. And she shared all these incredible stories about how they got started and what they tested in the market, and how they do radio ads and split test. I could nerd out on the marketing side, but the biggest lesson that Gail shared with us was she's looking around, and we're sharing office with these other companies, and it's the early days, and she goes, man, I still remember those moments, and do yourself a favor and document them, take pictures, celebrate your wins, because the journey is the destination. And I was just like, man, that's so true. From that point on, we essentially took photos, took screenshots, did a bunch of stuff to really remind us of the progress we were making. And that is one part of the lesson that I was taught on how to protect your confidence as an entrepreneur. Because if you've got that, if you can show up and feel confident in your decision, even if you're learning, you're going to change your strategies, that energy that you bring is just probably one of the most powerful things that we have as entrepreneurs. So the number one thing I want to share with you guys is celebrate your wins. In your previous quarter, okay, every 90 days, you should take a moment, usually a half day to a day, meet with your team, review what you guys accomplished, and even though there was lessons learned, celebrate the wins as a team. It's super important for you and for your team, but really as an entrepreneur, to remind yourself that you're making progress, because it's so easy for us to just get it done and move on to the next thing without taking a moment and saying, man, we really need to be proud of ourselves and our team for overcoming this challenge, or getting this new product rollout, or meeting a customer's need that sounded a little kind of out there. Take the time once a quarter to really celebrate those wins. Number two is weekly team wins and customer wins. So in your team format, whenever you do your team meetings, you should ask the team, does anybody have any wins? Maybe it's they just blew a goal out of the water. Or maybe it's a customer win, where as customer service or as the founder, you're getting emails from different people. You can actually add it to the agenda. It's what we do in our team, so that once a week we have the opportunity, if there's anything that came in that we feel the rest of the team would want to hear, we share it with them. So on a weekly basis, that's number two. You want to share that feedback, those wins from the team and your customers with the rest of the team. Number three is making sure that you document the journey. As Gail taught us, take photos. I have screenshots for the last almost 9 years of all the product designs, the decisions, major contracts we signed, Skype sessions, just taking screenshots of the team, the stand-ups, everything. And anytime we had a party or we spoke at an event, we always hired a photographer to document those moments. If somebody was there with an iPhone, I'd make sure that we got all those photos and then shared it with the rest of the team. I just think it's so important that you have a document or a catalog of all these moments as the company evolves, because trust me, the people that were there in the beginning probably won't be there in the future if you're really successful, but they were all part of that story and that journey. It just reminds you the amount of incredible, I truly believe that success has 100 fathers, and being able to kind of reflect and remember those people that came into your life for that chapter and really helped you get over those hurdles to build the company that eventually is successful, having that to reflect on will help you protect that confidence as an entrepreneur, because it'll inspire you and remind you the amount of struggles that you overcame. Number four is to have a yearly party. Once a year, minimum, you should bring everybody on your team together, especially if you work in a distributed or virtual team. Bring them together and give everybody else awards. Actually take the time to recognize the effort and give them awards. Now, you're probably asking, Dan, what does this have to do with confidence as an entrepreneur? Here's the deal. When you can create an environment for other people to do work at a world-class level, to be excellent, and then recognize and give them awards, in some ways that act is for you by reminding you that you built this space, this environment, this company to allow them to be able to do some of their best work. And I think that to me is just part of the process as a leader. You need to take that once every 12 months, once a year, bring everybody together and recognize people for those that really stepped up throughout the year, because it brings you that energy that you're going to bring into the next year. As an entrepreneur, it's super powerful. And number 5 is individually, I think everybody in your team should have this, but you definitely as the founder and entrepreneur, you should create an achievement list. And this is everything that you've ever accomplished that you thought would be hard, that you overcame. And it could start back when you were 9 years old. It could be little things like learning to ride a bike. If that was meaning for you, if that was an achievement that you set, that you wanted to accomplish, and you got there, then you put this on this list. And for me, I save it in an Evernote file, and it's little things. You know, it could be personal things, it could be health related, it could be business related, but it's just a list that if you've ever got an important phone call, if you got a really important talk you got to give, if you have a really tough conversation with your management team or an employee that's struggling, and you just want to kind of give yourself a kind of a kick and remind yourself of the challenges you've been able to overcome and achieve in your life, just open that list and read it. I think it's probably one of the most powerful gifts that I can give you is just a suggestion and the permission to review that list whenever you're struggling, to remind you how great you truly are. And I think that protecting the confidence for entrepreneurs, your confidence is such a critical component to keeping the energy and the forward movement going. So real quick, recap, celebrate your wins with the team every quarter at a minimum. Weekly team meetings to review customer wins as well as team wins. And then third, document the journey, screenshots, photographers, etc. Yearly parties and give awards to other people on your team, because in a way that's a reflection of the creation that in the space that you've provided everybody, which is awesome. And then fifth is an achievement list where you can just review that whenever you've got a big meeting, something super important, you want to pump yourself up. That's where you go just to remind yourself of all the cool things you've done with your life thus far. I want to ask you to leave a comment and tell me your story of something that you do to celebrate your wins. Or better yet, tell me a win that you've had in the last 7 days. I want to hear from you below. I want to get excited for you. So tell me your win that you've had in your business, in your life in the last 7 days in the comments below. As per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next week. Hey there, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel where you get other tips on how to start and grow your business. I'd also encourage you to join my newsletter where I share exclusive invites to events, other free training videos, and community contests. And if you're ready to keep going with some more content, I've got a couple videos queued up for you. Hope this video finds you well. I'll see you next week.